Hello everyone, it's Sick Blaze Ladios at it again. So, as for the most recent update, Blaze got new TACS for Destructive Stork. Majority of this PA's usage was from mobbing and also to do stuff like gain minor elevation and or end the Rampaging Harrier early before a blade rain portion of the PA to squeeze out more damage before a boss were to pull away from the attack. The new TACS for Destructive Stork don't really change the application of this PA at all. Well, not entirely, however it does introduce more versatility and options to the weapon that it did not previously have. I will be going over all three of the new TACs and then explain which is my favorite and why I feel it's the best TAC for Stork. So our first Stork custom is a generic effect of attack range up. This basically turns Stork into a much bigger AoE attack. Nothing more to really add here, it's just a range increase. If you're doing mobbing content, taking this might not be the worst thing ever if you need to hit a lot of enemies in a sizable radius that Raving Valkyrie can't cover. Overall, this is a pretty underwhelming TAC, and for the time being is something I don't really recommend using outside of very specific cases of mobbing. Our next TAC is a speed boost for the shifted version of Destructive Stork. This TAC also removes the descent of the PA afterwards. Overall, there isn't much to say about this particular TAC other than it pairs very well with Rampaging Harrier if you shift into Stork before the blade rain segment of the PA. Basically the same reasoning as before to shift into Stork, but thanks to the attack speed it's even better at doing this. Finally, we have the third TAC. This is a TAC that applies an AoE dot area effect to the end of unshifted Destructive Stork. Basically, after the animation ends, a giant circle that deals damage to all enemies within its radius will appear and constantly deal ticks of damage for a substantial amount of time. This is a really strong TAC where you really only need the AoE dot to tick roughly around 5 times or so before it's beneficial to use. Basically, a boss that moves a lot like Solus might not be the best use for this TAC, but Stork Type 3 would do very well in content like Malignant Dalian, where a lot of what you are hitting is stationary. Even then, because you only really need 5 ticks of Stork to hit to be worth it, it's just a good PA to set up before going back into Harrier spam, or whatever you need to use at that given moment. Also, because the dot lasts for a substantial amount of time, you can easily set this up before something like Solus becomes attackable, and so yeah, you can basically just precast this now for a free dot. So if it wasn't obvious, my recommendation is to grab T3 Stork as general use, but also to grab Type 2 Stork for moments where you won't be able to make proper use of the dot effect Type 3 Stork has. Since I also don't really plan on making a separate video for it, I'll just say that Type 1 Spinning Gust for jet boots, while not overly useful for soaring blades, is possibly one of the better attacks for the PA, and there are some nice tools that Bo can now use thanks to new technique buffs like messing around with Gigarant's Type 3 alongside Stork Type 3 for mobbing or dealing with multiple bosses at once. Other than that, that's all I want to talk about in this video. I recommend of course you try each new TAC for yourself and see what best fits your playstyle. What I recommend usually leans more towards what's optimal, and I understand that that's also not for everyone, as weird that might be. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.